The MVP 360 windshield repair system is comprised of a three-part injector made from surgical tool steel that will deliver a lifetime of dependability. The part of the injector that screws into the holding device is referred to as the barrel, while the part that is inserted into the barrel is referred to as the plunger. The part that runs through the length of the plunger is called the rod, which can be locked into a specified position by the cam lock. Please note that there is a vacuum port that protrudes from the side of the barrel. This is where we will attach the MVP microvac. Once you've loaded your injector with resin, insert the plunger to the first stage demonstrated here. Do not insert the plunger past the first stage or you will shut off the vacuum port, which is where we connect the MVP microvac, and pump out all of the air in the brake before injecting the resin. Please listen as Dave explains.
Then you can attach the microvac, do several pushes of the button, 5 or 6, to get you anywhere from 15 to 21 inches of mercury. And once you're that, you line up and insert the rest of the way. Plunger is turned clockwise to lock it into place. At this point, you have closed off the vacuum, create cycles of pressure and vacuum. If you want to lock the rod in place, it's usually best. One of the newer features is you can do this with one finger. Just turn it to the left or counterclockwise, and that'll lock the rod into place. And you can turn either direction, but when you go to unlock it, then you'll turn it to the right, and that way you won't unlock the plunger from its stage, and then the rod will slide freely again. And so lock, unlock, and push and pull on the rod. This is our MVP 360 bridge. It has a small footprint, incorporates a flip cup that you just put close to the brake, and then you, with the flip of the switch, can lock it down. And then it has 2 adjusting screws to adjust it to any curvature of the glass that you might come up against. It's got an open platform that allow you to see through it, and also, if necessary, probe flex to reach cracks that are hard to get to. The opening fits the MVP 360 injector at the 9/16 thread. However, the bridge is available also at the 1/2-inch threads for a lot of other injectors that are on the market. The bridge has adjustment where you can swivel from side to side if you need to come off the brake and then go back on. Also, you have adjustment in the lateral direction where you can go up or down to make sure that you can get it lined up exactly over your pit area. The collar does tighten up, but you can apply tension and raise the back end of the platform up to lower the front end to create a little more pressure. And as you're doing the repair, if you have in your mind maybe too much pressure and a crack is closed tight because of that pressure, you can back off your leveling screws and gently do that without actually having to come all the way off the brake. So very versatile, small footprint, easily fit into toolboxes. Last but not least is our liquid resins microvac, which very handy. Rather than using any kind of a hose like we do with our Mighty Vac, this one attaches directly to the vacuum port of the MVP 360 injector and operates with just the push of a button. You can press that button 5 or 6 times and generate up to 21 inches of mercury. The Mighty Vac will attach directly onto the vacuum port of the MVP 360 injector. It's just straight on. And then when you press the button, I use my middle finger. 1, 2, 3, you can press it. It only takes 5 or 6 presses to get plenty of vacuum to do your repair.
Now let's do a repair. Place your inspection mirror behind the brake from the inside of the vehicle. Next, take your probe and poke around the pit area of the brake in order to remove any broken glass and debris that might contaminate the repair. Just look at how much broken glass was in the brake, but by removing the debris, we'll end up with a much better looking repair when we're finished. Once you've placed the holding device on the glass, it's time to fine-tune your position over the brake. We recommend that you insert your probe into the barrel of the injector, which is already screwed into the bridge, and move the probe around until you feel it bottom out in the center of the brake. Once there, screw the barrel down a couple of turns and then tighten the leveling screws at the rear of the bridge to secure it in place. Next, attach the MVP microvac to the vacuum port of the injector. We recommend inverting your bottle of resin over the end of the plunger and then pull the rod inside the plunger downward to fill the chamber with resin. Insert the tip of the plunger into the barrel and push it down the vacuum stage. Pump the microvac several times to evacuate all of the air that is in the brake, and then close the vacuum port by lowering the plunger into the second and final stage of the barrel. Now we will release the resin into the airless brake by slowly pressing down on the knob of the rod. Now create vacuum by pulling up on the rod. Cycle between pressure and vacuum a few times and you will see any legs on the brake begin to fill. Now with the rod pushed down in the pressure position, turn the cam lock 1/4 turn counterclockwise to lock the rod under pressure. The MVP 360 earned its name as it is the first injector on the market to sport a holding device that allows the repair technician to see all sides of the brake. Every other holding device on the market covers most of the brake. Which would you rather have? Now take your probe and press at various points around the brake to make sure that all of the cracks have been filled. Remember, if you can see black in a crack, you still need to get resin into that point. Oftentimes, you can simply press your probe on a spot in order to get the resin to flow into that area of the brake. Now it's time to cure under pressure. This means that we are going to start the curing process of the resin so that when we remove the injector, the resin won't start seeping out of the brake. 30 seconds above and below the brake is all that is necessary to accomplish this. Now it's time for the full curing process. First you need to remove the injector. To do this, pull up on the rod, flip the suction cup lever into its upright position, and then remove the tool. Now take your bottle of super hard pit resin and place 1 drop of it over the center of the repair. Gently lay a curing sheet over the brake, being careful to avoid the temptation to press down on the center. Now center the curing light vertically directly over the repaired area. Most resins will cure in under 3 minutes. The best test in determining whether or not a repair is fully cured is when you hear a crackling noise as you peel off the curing sheet. The cured resin underneath the curing sheet should now be hard to the touch. Take your scraper and peel off the excess resin while being careful not to get too close to the repaired area. Now hold your scraper perpendicular to the glass and scrape back and forth over the brake until all of the excess resin is removed. Rub a drop of pit polish into the repaired area with your finger and wipe it clean with a rag. All that is left is a small spot that is optically matched to the surrounding glass. Another successful repair. Remember, this was before, and this is after. What a difference! Now let's repair a combination brake. We'll start again by probing around the brake while looking for legs to appear that might otherwise be missed. There's one right there. See how the legs open up with just a little surface pressure? Next, we probe the impact point of the brake for loose glass and debris.
Okay, we're going to back off the injector, back off the screws so that when we put this on the glass it will stick. And then we're going to, on this one, we're going to mount below the brake. I'll go ahead and take my plunger out and kind of down there, and we just flip the switch, and then we're going to move over. We have the ability to swivel and adjust. so we just have to get it close to the brake.
Once again, insert your probe into the barrel of the injector and wiggle the end of the probe against the glass until you feel the tip catch the impact point of the brake. Once you've located this point, hold the bridge assembly steady while you tighten the barrel and the leveling screws. Now place your inspection mirror behind the brake. Connect the micropump to the vacuum port of the barrel. Load the plunger with resin by inverting your resin bottle over the end of the plunger while drawing the rod downward to pull the resin inside the chamber. Now insert the plunger into the barrel, stopping at the first stage. Pump the microvac several times to draw all of the air out of the brake, and then lower the plunger to the second and final stage in order to shut off the vacuum port. And now we're ready to inject the resin into the brake. Slowly press down on the rod with a twisting motion to release the resin. Now slowly pull up on the rod with the same twisting motion to create vacuum. Press down again to create pressure. And then move the rod up and down to create short cycles of pressure and vacuum. This motion helps push the resin into the furthest points of the brake. Now with the rod pushed down in the pressure position, turn the cam lock 1/4 turn counterclockwise to lock the rod under pressure. Once again, we are going to take the probe and press in the area of that small ear that was at the 2 o'clock position of the brake. This will allow the resin to flow upward while under pressure and fill that void as well. Now we're going to unlock the cam lock by turning it 1/4 turn clockwise and cycle the rod up and down to vacuum out any air that was in that ear. Now we need to remove the microvac while the injector is locked under pressure. Begin the cure under pressure cycle. Remember, it only takes about 30 seconds on each side of the brake to complete the cure under pressure cycle. Now it's time for the full curing process. First you need to remove the injector. To do this, loosen the leveling screws, flip the suction cup lever into its upright position, and then remove the tool. Now take your bottle of super hard pit resin and place 1 drop of it over the center of the repair. Gently lay a curing sheet over the brake, being careful to avoid the temptation to press down on the center. Now center the curing light vertically directly over the repaired area. Most resins will cure in under 3 minutes. The best test in determining whether or not a repair is fully cured is when you hear a crackling noise as you peel off the curing sheet. Take your scraper and peel off the excess resin while being careful not to get too close to the repaired area. Now hold your scraper perpendicular to the glass and scrape back and forth over the brake until all of the excess resin is removed. Rub a drop of pit polish into the repaired area with your finger and wipe it clean with a rag.